Namaste. You're watching Gayatri's Legal Awareness channel in English. To listen in Telugu, click on the link given in the description. Today, we will learn and understand about the 3 farming acts that came into force in the month of September 2020 and also the reasons behind the protest of farmers against these 3 farming acts. Also, the overview of farmers' points of concern and discord. Firstly, we need to know that the 7th schedule under Article 246 of the Constitution deals with the division of power between the Union and the states. Article 246 of the Constitution demarcated the powers of the Union and the state by classifying their powers into 3 lists, namely Union list, State list and Concurrent list. Agriculture comes under state list, so the power rests with the state government. Therefore, the state governments are criticizing the central government for making farming laws. The answer given by central government is, while agriculture is in the state list under the Constitution, entry 33 of the concurrent list provides center and the state's powers to control production, supply and distribution of products, that is, trade and commerce, of any industry including agriculture. Therefore, the central government conveyed that the new farming laws are purely based on trade and commerce. Now, let us understand the 3 farming acts and also the reasons behind the protest of farmers against these 3 farming acts. The first act is Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Act 2020. One nation, one agricultural market is the main motto of this act. Prior to this act, the agricultural trade could be conducted only in Agricultural Produce Market Committee APMC yards like warehouses, cold storages or mandis on the basis of MSP, that is minimum support price given by the government to the farmers. This new act gives freedom to farmer, that is, it allows intrastate and interstate trade of farmers' produce beyond the physical premises of APMC markets. This act allows the electronic trading for farmers' produce, that is, it facilitates direct and online buying and selling of the agricultural produce via electronic devices and the internet. Also, farmers can form as a team and create an online platform to sell their agricultural produce. As per the Act, the state governments are prohibited from levying any market fee or cess on farmers, traders and electronic trading platforms for trading farmers' produce in an outside trade area. Farmers are free to sell their agricultural produce anywhere in India. Then why the farmers are protesting against this act? MSP, minimum support price, is not specified in this act. All these years, minimum support price MSP was specified on beforehand by the government, which indeed was a protection given to farmers by the government. On basis of the MSP, the farmers were flexible in choosing and growing crops. What is MSP? The minimum support price is an agricultural product price set by the Government of India to purchase directly from the farmer. This rate is to safeguard the farmer to a minimum profit for the harvest if the open market has lesser price than the cost incurred. How MSP is determined? Commission for Agricultural Cost and Prices (CACP) in Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare recommends MSP, then the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs (CCEA) announces it. Based on MSP, the agricultural produce is purchased by FCI, that is Food Corporation of India. Now, the farmers are protesting against this act because neither FCI nor MSP is specified in this act. Government says that till date, MSP is not specified in any act. As a part of operational management function, the government declares it. Hence, MSP is not specified in the new Farming Act, says the government. Farmers are against this act because, according to this act, the agricultural produce of farmers will go to the corporate sectors and the decision of the price of the farmers' produce will be decided by these corporates or private sectors and not by the government. The farmers expect the minimum profit out of their agricultural produce. If MSP is specified in this act, then it would protect the farmers' interest though the farmers' produce is purchased by private sectors, says the farmers. The farmers are protesting against this act, saying that this act doesn't provide neither any protection nor safety to farmers. The second act is Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Act 2020. This is also termed as contract farming. Contract farming involves agricultural production being carried out on the basis of an agreement between the buyer and farm producers. Sometimes it involves the buyer specifying the quality required and the price and the farmer agreeing to deliver at a future date. The farmer undertakes to supply agreed quantities of a crop or livestock product based on the quality standards and delivery requirements of the purchaser. In return, the buyer, usually a private company, agrees to buy the product, often at a price that is established in advance. The private company often also agrees to support the farmer through supplying inputs, assisting with land preparation, providing production advice, and transporting produce to its premises. Period of agreement. Farming agreements may be made for a maximum period of 5 years. In case of certain kinds of farming produce, a single production cycle may run longer than 5 years. In these instances, the period of validity of the farming agreement may even extend beyond 5 years. Settlement of dispute. This act provides 3-level dispute settlement mechanism, that is, conciliation board, subdivisional magistrate, appellate authority. When a dispute arises between a farmer and the private company or purchaser, firstly, they need to solve their issue at conciliation board within 30 days from the date of appointment of conciliation board. If the conciliation board fails to resolve the dispute, either of the party can approach subdivisional authority, who will have to decide the case within 30 days of filing application after proper hearing. Parties, if not satisfied with the order of the subdivisional magistrate, may approach the higher authority for review. The collector of the concerned district or the additional collector nominated by the collector would be the appellate authority. The aggrieved party may, within 30 days of passing of such order, file an appeal to the appellate authority in physical or electronic format. The authority then would have to dispose of the case within 30 days from the date of filing of such appeal, after giving the concerned parties a reasonable opportunity of being heard. Then why the farmers are protesting against this act? In this agreement, the minimum support price will be decided by the private companies. In our country, 86% are smallholder farmers, whereas 14% are agricultural landowners with large extent of agricultural land. Therefore, the farmers opine that by this act, only the large landholder farmers are benefited and not smallholder farmers. Farmers' fear is that a powerful corporate investor would legally dominate the farmers and put the liability clauses on them, that is, with the terms and conditions in the agreement. As the majority of farmers are uneducated, they may get cheated with the corporate companies or private companies' terms and conditions, which a farmer wouldn't be aware before signing the agreement. Farmers' concern is that this act doesn't come under judiciary. The farmers wouldn't be in a position to fight against the corporate or private companies. Also, the farmers' concern is that within the ambit of appellate authority, the corruption may take place and the weaker farmers may not fight and stand against the big corporates in spite of agreements made, and the farmers have to face loss. The powers of judiciary is more than the appellate authority. Also, the judiciary, the higher authority, gives the orders without any discrimination. Hence, absence of the judiciary system in this act is the concern of the farmers. The third one is Essential Commodities Amendment Act 2020. This act is the amendment to the prior act, that is Essential Commodities Act 1955. This act deals with the essential commodities. What are essential commodities? To regulate the production, supply and distribution of a whole host of commodities, the government declares essential in order to make them available to consumers at fair prices. The list of items under the Act includes medicines, fertilizers and edible oils, as well as petroleum and petroleum products. The Centre can include new commodities as and when the need arises and take them off the list once the situation improves. For example, let us assume that there is a sudden hike in the price of the onions. Reason behind the hike is the big corporate or private companies purchase from the farmers and store them in godowns and creates an artificial demand to sell products at higher price. That is, reducing supply of the product leads to increase in artificial demand, which in turn leads to increase in the price. To eradicate this kind of situations, the central government releases notifications specifying the stock limit and the state governments follows that. Whoever stores the products out of stock limits are punished with 7 years of imprisonment or fine. Government of India, by implementing this Essential Commodities Amendment Act 2020, removed certain commodities as essentials so that government will regulate supply and prices only in case of war, famine, high price rise or natural calamities, and those commodities are including food items like cereals, pulses, potato, onion, edible oil seeds and oil. The government is saying that this Amendment Act is a good step in boosting farmers' income as the onions, potatoes, cereals, pulses, edible oils, etc. are part of daily household requirements. The government is saying that they will only interfere and bring the items in essential commodities list only when there is a 50% hike in the retail price of the non-perishable items. Therefore, when the price increases on non-perishable items, only then they will be included in essential commodities list, and once the prices are stabilized, those items will be removed from essential commodities list. Here, the non-perishable items are cereals, pulses, edible oils, etc., which can be stored at room temperature for months and years. For example, let us assume that 1 kg dal costs ₹100. When the cost of dal increases to 50%, that is, it increases to ₹151, then the government includes the dal in the essential commodities list, and when the increased price comes down to ₹100, then the dal will be removed from essential commodities list. The government is saying that they will only interfere and bring the items in essential commodities list only when there is a 100% hike in the retail price of the perishable items. Therefore, when the price increases on perishable items, only then they will be included in essential commodities list, and once the prices are stabilized, those items will be removed from essential commodities list. Here, the perishable items are onions, potatoes, etc. For example, let us assume that 1 kg onions cost ₹50. When the cost of onions increase to 100%, that is, it increases to ₹101, then the government includes the onions in the essential commodities list, and when the increased price comes down to ₹50, then the onions will be removed from essential commodities list. Why the farmers are protesting against this Amendment Act? Though the government is saying that it is a good step in boosting farmers' income, on the other hand, there will be increase in the price rise and risk of hoarding and black marketing, and that may lead to monopoly of few individuals over prices of certain goods. Traders, agri companies, private retailers go to villages and buy agricultural products directly by giving the farmers reasonable price and sell the same product to the people in towns, cities and earn good profit between 50% to 100% depending upon the perishable and non-perishable items. Ultimately, this will pinch the pockets of the people and the farmers earn very less profit, wherein only the traders, agri companies and private retailers earn good profits. Farmers are saying that with this Essential Commodities Amendment Act 2020, only the traders, agri companies, private retailers are benefited and not the farmers. Overview of farmers' points of concern and discord. Laws on agri-market and contract farming will enable big private companies to have control over crop purchasing, to set up private agriculture markets and dictate prices, to control the supply and prices of inputs for agriculture, to control the storage, cold storage and transport of crops, to monopolize food processing. The new laws will end the regulated mandi system. Amendment in the Essential Commodities Act will allow hoarding and black marketing, expose the entire rural and urban poor to agri giants and private food corporations, fear of market manipulation. Agri business firms, processors, wholesalers, exporters and large retailers for farm services will manipulate the market situation to gain at the cost of farmers. Ownership of land at risk. Law on contract farming will put farmers' ownership of land at risk, as the Act provides for debt instruments to be operated alongside the contract with companies which will have their own recovery mechanisms. Competition with big traders. Farmers cannot protect their interest while exposed to giant traders in the name of freedom of choice. Allowing dispute resolution at high courts. Law makes SDM court the final authority for dispute resolution. Farmers say they should be allowed to approach higher courts. Punishing stubble burning. It's unfair to punish farmers for stubble burning under new Act on air quality management without providing them with economically viable solutions. Electricity bill. Proposed electricity amendment bill will force farmers to make payment upfront at the rate decided by private power companies. All views expressed in this video are for information purpose only and do not replace any professional advice offered by any advocate or anyone. If you find this video is informative, then like, share and subscribe my channel. Namaste.